You know what? Can you push this back there, and then I'll just bring this little table over here. I'm kind of feeling that. You mind doing that? Yeah. All the way. Thank you. And if you could help me. Glad you saw that. That could have been a nightmare really quick. Hello. Loving the chatter. It's like my favorite thing. I want to welcome everybody. Anybody that's new, my name is Joe. Welcome to the center, the Sit.Feel.Heal Meditation Center, the Thursday night group. Super happy you're here. Love seeing my friends, my homies, my family. Yeah, no matter how hectic it can get. It's like, was once I'm here and see y'all and hear the chatter, and it's just like fucking cool. All right. Yeah. Thank you for that. So a few little announcements, housekeeping things. Tea is in the front, filtered water, restroom, all to my left. Got a bulletin board with upcoming events up on the right, over by the donation station. Check out what we got going on. Some cool stuff. There's a retreat coming up, day-long Metta for Monsters that Kimber and I have been leaning into. So we're going to offer a kind of almost a day-long, I think, 10 to 3, with a lunch period in the middle of all that. So good way to lean into longer periods, longer sessions of practice and reflection. You won't be meditating the whole time. We'll talk. Different activities. And then, we have a retreat coming up, first Sit.Feel.Heal retreat in Nicaragua in June 15th through the 20th. So there's information on that in the back too, and there's room still available. Yeah, destination. The days are going to be filled with mornings of silent and inner reflective practices, and then afternoons of connection and play, and then evenings coming back into practice. It's all, the whole day's practice, but it's this going inward and outward. How does our practice show up in relationship with life? So I'm really excited for that one. Yeah, and make yourself comfortable. And we'll start with a little arriving meditation. A little arriving check-in. Some people call it grounding. Some people call it whatever they call it. It's like this arriving. We're here, right? So you feel the body. Maybe you want to look around and check out your space. Finding a place to rest your eyes, or maybe your eyes are already closed. And whether your eyes are open or closed, just noticing. Noticing what's present. Noticing this energy of the mind right now. maybe restless, maybe tired, somewhere in between. You can notice that and maybe be curious around what would the mind need right now? Maybe some space, ease. What do you need right now? Maybe even picture that in your mind. What represents that? Uh, an image of nature, simple color or shape. And let that rest in your mind. And then just shifting awareness. And again, the points of contact in the body, the way this body's sitting, feet on the floor, and backs of the legs pressed into the chair. The way the air is connecting with the skin, hands resting in the lap. Just the knowing of sitting. This is sitting. And we notice the sounds. And sounds in this room, sounds outside the room, and sounds coming and going. We notice taste, smell, and seeing. Even with the eyes closed, there's shapes, there's colors, mental images left over from a thought, because there's still thoughts. There's also the invitation to rest, the reminder that this time we've made for each other, that there's nowhere that you need to go. There's nothing you need to do. Maybe there's nothing you need to fix or figure out right now, in this moment at least. No better you that you need to be or become. Gentle invitation of rest as we connect feet, the seat, the sounds. And notice. Right here in the middle of each moment, this dear friend, the breath, just breathing, all on its own. No need to change the way you're breathing. And you get to choose the place to come back to, a place to come home to, no matter how many times the mind drifts or gets stuck. Just another opportunity to welcome yourself back home, to presence. And arrive. In the spirit of practicing together, showing up with each other Thursday night. Maybe we can transition here with a few breaths together. Everything is just suggestive. So if you'd like, follow along on the count of 3. We'll gently breathe in through our nose and just let the air fall out the mouth. So on 3, 1, 2, 3, in, and let it go. Again, really slowly in, like you're filling up a balloon, and let it go. Really push the air out on this one. Get it all out. And then again, in really slow, like you're filling up that balloon, and hold it just for a moment. And on the out breath, make some noise. Beautiful. Just let the breath breathe on its own. Check in with the sounds. Notice any shift in your experience as you feel your feet on the ground. And this bell is just an invitation to transition from inner to outer awareness. And you can still rest however you want. That last breath was hard to judge. I didn't know where everybody was at. Some people are holding it longer. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, let it go. Yeah. So sorry if you were holding it longer than... Anyway. So yeah, just always curious what you're coming in with. And, I also teach at a couple of different rehabilitation centers for people that suffer from substances and other maladies. And today the topic was a lot around community and how really the support, right? Like, how do you find support? What feels supportive? Like just showing up, like you showing up tonight. Like, if you can't think of a supportive person, just showing up for yourself is you're showing up, for yourself. You're supporting yourself. So that came up a lot tonight or today. I always like to ask though, what are you coming in with? A part of this is the topic of community and connection is through expression, right? It's like a place where we show up and we practice meditation, but also we connect and check in with each other. And maybe, you come in with different feelings, different thoughts. Sometimes saying it out loud, the room can hold it for you if it's a little bit too much to hold for yourself. Or just that question tonight in the meditation of, what do you need? What do you, what does the mind need right now? Spaciousness, ease, peace, or something else? Anybody want to speak to it? Letting go. Yeah. Please. Yeah. Increased, you said, anxiety? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just fucking right there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Sitting with it rather than in it. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. And in the back. Yeah, please.
I'm most of the way through a 30-day.
Mm.
I find that tonight. First, I never meditated before my life.
No experience necessary. You're in the right place. Yeah. Yep. And thank you for speaking to it. Mm-hmm.
I find out that my 15-year-old stepson was caught drunk today at school.
Oh yeah, man. Damn. Yep. Yeah. Of course. Yep. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. What a fucking beautiful example that you can be right now. Right? What a beautiful example you can be right now. Yeah, as I spoke to it last week or one of the talks of, I have a 14-year-old, and there was a time when I realized that I can't keep him safe, but I can be a safe place for him to come. Right? Yeah. And it seems like you're creating that. So I'm glad you're here. Curiosity is the only requirement, even if there is one. Yeah. I'm glad you're curious about meditation. Anybody else want to share anything I can hold for you? Anybody in the cozy corner over here? I'm gonna leave you guys alone. It's like, leave us alone. You can't even see us. We're behind you. Be a better friend to myself and be more kind to myself. Yeah. I think there's a workshop or a day long coming up that is speaking to that. Metta for monsters, the inner tyrant. Yeah. Inner and outer. Yeah. Love to see you there. Yeah, man. And I'm sure there's a lot more that can be said and be held, but I feel it. I sense it. It's in the air, right? There's a lot going on, and that stuff is right there. We see it, and the outer stuff just can get so tangled up with our own stuff, and then we don't know what is ours, what is theirs. Is the hard one to decipher sometimes. So here is like, can we give ourselves space? Can we turn our awareness inward rather than, we go outward, and it's like we're distracted, and then pulled into the chaos that is out there. And in a way, we come here so that we can be more there, right? So it's not a dismissive practice either, a hiding. It's like, how do we have the stamina to be with, right? And I think how we find the stamina is putting our own oxygen mask on here, right? So we give ourselves space. We speak to what's happening here. We can see truly what is ours, right? So that when we're out there, we can have more space to be with what is happening in the world. Not even just in the world, but it's like, I feel like with what's going on in the world, it's like it amplifies what's going on personally too. I don't know. That's what's happening for me. It feels like. And there's just so much. It's like one thing after another. And I talk to people all the time, and it's like the same thing. It's like, you come to this group maybe even, and somebody asks you how you're doing. It's like, oh shit, It's like, really be careful asking somebody how they're doing sometimes, because it's a place where, I do it a lot of times, like, well, and being in the position I'm in, sometimes I can see the shock on some people's face, like, wait, I thought you're all zenned out. I'm like, I'm not exempt to suffering, right? And how precious we have a place to come to, and like-minded people on the path to healing, to feeling, to learning to be with, and turning our awareness inward. Wherever you're at on your path, just showing up tonight is enough, right? And such a radical act of kindness. And when we can do it in community, it's even that much more powerful, right? In the Buddhist tradition, talked about the 3 gems of the practice. And these 3 gems are Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. And Buddha, it's a Pali word, doesn't necessarily mean the Buddha statue or the Buddha himself, but this Buddha nature. Buddha's name was Siddhartha Gautama. The people of his time, when he reached enlightenment, or they saw that, whoa, dude, you're hella woke. You're a Buddha, It's just the enlightened one. But so we take refuge in these 3 gems. So we don't take refuge in the statue, but we can take refuge in our own Buddha nature, the own awakening, the awakening parts of us. Even I feel like seeing the anxiety rather than being the anxiety is the wisdom, right? So it's not without all our maladies or all the oof. It's seeing him clearly. And we can see him clearly and give him space. We're not as reactive. We can respond in a more wise, compassionate way. And we take refuge in this thing called Dharma, which is just truth. Teachings, maybe the Buddhist teachings. I like the term, the nature of things. It's just like nature itself. It's like always changing. There's always rupture. There's always repair, right? And the nature doesn't judge, doesn't choose summer over winter, right? You know, or I don't think the ocean is like, yo, I'm way more powerful than that mountain over there. I'm way more wise, right? Well, we can take refuge, you know, in your own understanding of you, of your experience being with. And when those two, and for me for a long time and still now, it's like I can't tap into that wisdom. I don't feel wise at all or whatever, you know, or find that truth. You know, the books just, I know all the information, but it's just not resonating in my heart. Anybody feel that? They read a lot of books. Anybody read a lot of books? Are like, what book is the one? It's good information, but until we practice it and experience it, that's what I love about this practice. It's about experience. My experience is super different than everyone's in here. So I'm sharing my experience. But when I can't take refuge, right, it doesn't feel like it's attainable. Sangha, community. And that's that Pali word, Sangha. And I looked up Sangha in Pali and in Sanskrit, and it's pretty much the same, but association, assembly, company, or community. And when I think of Sangha and community, is like community of like-minded people on the path, right? But I feel like even more, just like that connection, Sangha can be, and Kimber did a beautiful talk the other night at a group we were at around community, taking refuge in community about, you know, it is about relationship to people, to folks, but anything that you feel connected with nature can be community. Thich Nhat Hanh, and he wrote a pastor, I forget what book or what teaching this was in, but it really resonated with me, is when we say, I take refuge in Sangha, it's not a statement, it's a practice, right? It's a practice. Can be a rock tumbler too. We come in here all edgy, you know, we come in with our edges and kind of ruffle each other's feathers a little bit, but the more we're with over time, those rocks aren't so edgy. Still rocks. But he also says that in the trees, water, air, birds, and so on can all be members of our Sangha. A beautiful walking path may be part of our Sangha. That connection is just, what are you connected with? Are you just fucking walking through the forest? Or just walking down the street? What if everything was Sangha? Everything, you know? I like thinking about it. It's idealistic sometimes. We want to pick and choose, you know? And he even says a good cushion can also be Sangha. Nice comfy seat at Sit.Feel.Heal Meditation Center. That's your seat. So I like that because, you know, when I can't connect with folks, when I'm really feeling I need to take refuge in that, you know, it's just touching the earth and looking at the sky, or, you know, hearing the birds, Okay, there's community. We're part of, not separate from. And I feel like, no matter what, if Thursday night is the only time you practice meditation, cool, super awesome. But my hope too is that we can cultivate these relationships so that we can support one another outside of this room as well, making friendships of like-minded people on the path. And again, in the Buddhist tradition, it's kalyanamitta is the word, and it's just a handful of friends. And you can really, admirable friends. You look up to their practice, or not in a like guru type thing, but you're just like, oh wow, this person is really walking the path, and just having a conversation, a connection, and building a relationship in that is really helpful and powerful for our own practice to grow, to continue and grow. Because honestly, yeah, trees, water, birds, all can be Sangha. But I'm like, yo, fucking robin, bird, whatever. It's like, I'm struggling over here. It's like, what do I do? So it is important to connect with folks as well. But whether you're, and I talked about it, it was in the recovery context, right, of who we are connecting with, who are we opening up to. And that's why I want to create this. I think you all have helped create this place of a space where you can speak to what's on your heart. Because out in the world, I've noticed that the more I started giving myself space and being more comfortable with the way I feel and being able to express it, people don't fucking understand that. When they ask you how you doing and you tell them really how you're doing, they're like, what the hell? Or like, yeah, what's that group like? What's meditation like? Well, damn, I was like sitting there and like I was over here and like explaining an acid trip, and they're like, what the hell? Done that to my wife a few times, not a meditator at all, So it's important to have these kind of places where we can share, and these are hallucinations. Yeah, I remember coming home from retreat, sharing. And my wife was curious, and I thought it was like bonkers. It was like, and it like as I'm talking about it, it's like I knew. She was like, "What?" And really, she's like, "What kind of retreat was this?" It's like it was actually nothing. We ate, sat, and listened. A little bit of walking for a week. And those retreats were some of the most powerful practices and the deepest insights of that longer periods of silence with everybody else doing it too, right? Not talking to anybody, but being super connected in a way that you never would feel connected through words, through just fucking, like you're saying the F word, sorry, through just being. Sometimes say the F word before a word and it sounds really not appropriate. So I'm like watching that. I use the F word a lot. It's what I do. But sometimes I'm like, that sounded really inappropriate. I'll just speak to it, in the recovery world too. It's like, it's super important to have people on the path of recovery to check in with. I made that mistake. Telling my wife early in recovery, I'm like, yo, she's like, don't know if I can do this, because life was still lifing, just because I got sober. And didn't mean anything to her. I mean, it did. She was stoked, right? I just had to show up. But when I was expressing that I just don't know if I can do this, I just feel like I need to take some or something, she's like, what the hell? Well, how could you even think of that? You have, even it was like, I think not even 6 months or not even a year at the time. It's like, you throw all that time away, and how could you even have that thought? You're not doing it anymore. I'm like, how could you not? Right? Still 16 years later, it still sounds like a good idea sometimes. But now I have more space that quickly it's like, yeah, you're there. Hello. But, you know, expressing it to my partner, my wife, it was like, you know, feedback of some Nancy Reagan kind of stuff, like just say no. I'm like, she fully supports me in everything. She's the person that, you know, brought us this place, really, you know, really supports me on everything I do. So there's not a lack of support, but in that field, she didn't understand. And at first I was really resentful, but then I was like, whoa, wait a minute. As I'm speaking this to her, all she's thinking of all the shitty things, a shitty Joe, just not even a year ago. And then seeing the shift or whatever, you know, and it's like, how could I? And so it's like re-traumatizing her. It's like, oh, wow, I need to find people that can understand, right? She can support me over there and find support here. It's really important, you know, and it's important. Sorry, I'm speaking to the recovery part of it, but in early recovery, when you're speaking to, notice who you're speaking to if you're feeling like you're a little squirrely, because that person might be squirrely too and might be like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, let's go. Make sure they have a little bit of stability. That's happened to me before too. I'm like, all right, here we go. And same in these spiritual realms, these spiritual nooks and crannies, right? The things that you're waking up to, it can feel really, we want to share with others. You know, how many people in your life maybe, you know, you want them to feel maybe even a percentage of what you've experienced through meditation, right? You're like, oh man, they really could use this, right? And all of a sudden, yeah, you're just that person. And someone told me, I think it was after a long retreat, giving us a whole talk about reintegrating into the world and remembering that everybody loves Buddha, but not so much a Buddhist. So you're trying to like tell them all the things you've learned, you know. But just like our friend back there with their family member that's suffering, struggling, the best medicine is your own experience, modeling what it can look like, honest of where the struggle is as well, not dismissing the struggle. So, and I do feel like, you know, whether I'm speaking a lot to recovery too, but it's hand in hand a lot for me. And recovery for me is just true self-discovery. And that's what we're doing here. We're getting to discovering that part of us. We don't need to find anything. We're just rediscovering. We're uncovering all the things that we identified of lifetime. Even I am an addict or I'm an alcoholic. It's like, all right, whatever. There's something beyond that has never suffered that, right? You don't have to identify as anything here. You don't have to be a Buddhist to do this. Garen effing Teed. I think I'm Buddhish at best. I know a lot about the teachings, but until I experienced them, it didn't really make sense. Right? So the simplicity of showing up, shifting awareness to the feet, the seat, the sounds, the breath, over and over again. Creating a container of presence and not stopping there, but then turning towards those emotions, those feelings in a new way, in a way that maybe has a little bit more wisdom, compassion, or just a curiosity, not pushing them away, not being all entangled in them either, and knowing where you're at on the practice, in your practice, right? And how we feel like in here and in places like this is that we're all just mirrors, right? We can see our reflection and know where we are in our practice. Okay. Perfect with room to grow. Perfect with room to grow. Now, And can we just rest? And this is another motto I like here. Can we rest in good enough? Good enough. Came back to one breath, this whole meditation, good enough. Had one moment of ease, good enough. Something to build on, right? And again, back to the community part of it is, yeah, Thursday night, meeting people, meeting folks, but having the support of that inspiration outside of these rooms that, I want to do it. I'm going to put something together, but having like I don't like the word accountability buddy, but something like that, right? A support buddy on your practice, like somebody that, yeah, did you meditate today? What came up? What are you practicing? You can check in with every day, just a text. Hey, I sat for 5 minutes. But even that, I remember doing that, and like my text would be blowing up, and I'm like, I didn't meditate. I'm like, try to meditate real fast, or they like really compare myself. Like everybody's way better Buddhist than I am, So that's my own story. It might not be yours, but it is important, and it feels really good to have that support and inspiration, because that's the way we grow. And the way we grow is also to sit in the shit. No mud, no lotus, right? And lotuses are very beautiful flower, right? It's that beauty. You can think of that beauty in you, but the more vibrant the lotus, the muckier the water is, right? So all that stuff that you were trying to leave out the door, that's the fertilizer. Cultivate, till the soil. Sit with the shit, not in it, with it. There's a difference. And speaking of this analogy thing, and I think I'm going to bring it in tonight. And people that have been practicing with me or coming to groups that I offer probably have done this before, but I do like a very imaginative mind, and imagination can be beneficial. And I think about, when I think about communities, I think about redwood groves, in a community of redwoods, right? They grow best in groves, right? And so we're not circled up here, but this could be a grove, right? And outside my house, I live up in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and there's a grove of redwoods that are just, in this last storm even, they're just swaying together, swaying, popping. It looks like they're going to break, but they never break. Branches fall, like in the middle, but just doing their thing. But it's almost in unison. It is in unison. It's pretty crazy. And then there's this other solo tree, redwood, that used to be a part of the community, the grove, and it's healthy, but it's kind of, the trunk is all twisted and has this long ass branches, and every winter branches fall, right? And smash fences, bum people out, right? So we can do this on our own, but it feels better, and we're not bumming as many people out when we're doing it together. Another thing I like about the redwood analogy, there's a couple things kind of I think about that, reflect on it, is that, the roots are shallow, aren't really that deep. Maybe kind of like some of us in here, pretty shallow. But what keeps them strong and they don't fall. The only time you'll see a redwood fall is if the earth falls out beneath it. It's because their roots intertwine with all the other redwoods for miles. And when one redwood is lacking in nutrients, water, or minerals, another redwood sends those minerals, that water, to that tree. So fucking cool, And I feel like when we share from our hearts, our joys, our sorrows, our worries, that's our roots. That's connecting us authentically, sometimes vulnerably, right? That keeps us stronger together, so that we can be in our own experience and strong as well, just like those redwood trees. And they're super malleable, not a real hard wood, and soft in the core. So keep your belly soft, y'all. Yeah. And another cool thing is that in the middle of all those redwood groves, they call them fairy rings a lot of times. Almost borderline some woo-woo for me, but I like it. Get into some fairy rings. In the middle is a burnt out redwood, dead, but that's part of the nutrients, right? So when we think of community, we can even think of, or Sangha, those that have passed, those that have walked this path before us, or even those that, that would support us, they're rooting for us. And their wisdom and their support can still be part of who we are, even if we don't see them. It doesn't take away from the loss of them, right? So maybe just taking a moment here and turning your awareness inward and just contemplate this or reflect, bring to mind a supportive person, someone that supports you on this path. And what does that support feel like? And as we're reflecting on this, let's hear their names, just popcorn style. Say their name out loud. Roxanne. Vinny. Yeah, keep them coming louder. Yeah. Felix Lozano. Louder so they can hear you in the back. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Thank you. And just rest in that for a little bit here. In this community here, can name more than a dozen. And I can't express enough how much gratitude I have for that, for you. You save me when I can't save myself. You're a reason sometimes to show up. Sometimes I think I'm showing up for you. But every time I realize I'm showing up for myself as I see myself through your eyes. Just taking a couple breaths here on your own time. I think those are most of my words. I'm sure I can ramble on, but I'm just curious what that felt like. What's your sense on community? What's your reflection right now? Thing you want to share, please. And if you could speak up a little bit, I know it's kind of hard for everybody here in this room. It gets kind of boxed. Yeah.
Community is really cornerstone of really my existence these days, and it was something that was missing really in the fullness that I wanted for a long time. It's just good to remember and to like put some intentionality into recognizing how important and how fulfilling that is.
Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. You got a lot of, what was that? Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Mm. Thank you for sharing that, man. I hope that's a way to show up for yourself. Yeah. Wonder if we can not try. Just be here, man. Yeah. I'm glad you're here. Ginger. Yeah. Mm. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Ginger. Yes. Mm. Yeah. Anybody else?
I just want to say thank you for the space. My schedule is changing and I won't be able to make it anymore.
No.
So, Tuesday's Refuge, I'll be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate everyone here.
Mm-hmm. And we'll have more offerings too, and maybe try to come some of the longer sits, the workshops and retreats that we'll be offering. Yeah, it'd be really cool to practice with you. Yeah, deeper. Cool. And thanks for letting us know too. I think that's important, right?
Yeah, no, it's
I like that. Yeah, and it's okay if you do too. Yeah. No judgment. Come and go. Mhm. Mm, thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
I was just thinking a lot, just kind of up here, so asking when people ask you if you're okay, how you automatically want to say, yeah, great.
Yeah. Fine.
And how like all these societal cues kind of like keep like push us towards autonomy and like being like okay, we're kind of I should.
Yeah.
And it makes like relying on different other people like less
I was agreeing very much. Yes.
naturally like want to be.
Love that you spoke to that though, because I was agreeing really heavily because speaking to that, because it's not, we're, there's such a culture of do it on your own, pull up your bootstraps. Yeah, suck it up. It's like, that worked out great for me. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you. It's counterintuitive. They call this path a lot of times going against the stream. Like that. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. 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 That's not okay. Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. That's all you need to know. Yeah. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And having a space where we can actually, people can hold it too. It's good. Yeah. So thank you for bringing that in. So let's take a little stretch break. Maybe 5 minutes or so. Or maybe yeah. Come back at 7:55. So we can get a good meditation. And you hear that, JP? I'm mostly saying it for JPs or anybody that's going to ring a bell and invite us back in. Go. So yeah, and go. Feel free to go outside, stretch, use the restroom. Boy, I'm still getting used to this setup, man. All right, yo. What was that? I know. This whole, yeah, it's like, oh, you hear that pop? Bro? What the hell? I didn't. No. Didn't do nothing. I don't know. We got a new mic setup, so it's like, it's a better mic, but. All right, y'all. So just coming back in, finding your posture. Gently shifting awareness inward. As you kind of notice the room settling, when you bring your awareness inward, you can feel the mind and its energy from connection. We don't need to force anything here. Don't need to force a settling or anything that needs to be done. Maybe just giving ourselves permission can be enough. Permission to rest. Letting the mind just be the mind. Allowing thoughts to be thoughts. Plans and memories. Hopes and dreams. The mind sometimes thinks, sometimes feels. Just as the heart beats. We don't judge the heart for beating, so maybe not judging the mind when it's thinking. But maybe just simply guiding the mind back. Back to the feet, the seat, the sounds, or the breath. Gentle invitation to rest, if only for a moment, before the next thought takes you away. No problem. We come back. Another opportunity to welcome yourself back. A reminder that in this moment, right here, there's nowhere you need to go. And in this moment, right here, there's nothing you need to do. And in this moment, right here, maybe there's nothing that needs to be fixed or figured out. No better you that you need to be or become. You can just rest. And this is the simplicity of the practice, this foundational tool of shifting awareness back to breath, to sensation, to sound, over and over. And with this topic, community, I just want to invite us to maybe practice using our imagination a little bit here. And always knowing that you can just rest in your own practice. Everything is suggestive. Follow along as much as you would like. And just for a moment, shifting our awareness down to the soles of our feet. Noticing this connection to the floor, to the cushion, and these points of contact, the body connecting with the chair, the floor, the earth. And imagining as if there's roots coming out your feet, smashing through the floor, this foundation, and digging into the earth. Maybe bringing a deeper sense of connectedness, belonging. You belong. This earth. Maybe just support. As the body breathes, the body rests all on its own. And imagining these roots spreading out and intertwining with everyone in this room. Sangha, community, our grove, our fairy ring. Extra support if needed. Maybe connecting with someone that has inspired you in this room, supported you just through their words, or just through their listening, holding. The body rests, the body breathes. Maybe just allow these roots to go outside of this room and connecting with community, mentors, like-minded friends that support you on this path. Those that understand and don't understand. Maybe even connecting with the person that you brought to mind tonight, said their name. The body breathes, the body rests, all on its own. We can even let these roots connect with those who are no longer with us, that are rooting for us. Sometimes we stand on the shoulders of those who walked before us. Just taking a few breaths. And then following these roots all the way back to the soles of your feet, bringing in all this supportive energy, this goodness. Maybe it could be a color, texture. It's going to fill your body right now. Following the roots all the way back to the soles of your feet, and the support beginning to fill the soles of your feet, the tops of your feet, the calves, the shins, the knees, all the way up to the waist. And just notice lower half of the body, rooted and grounded and stable like a trunk of a tree. Noticing any sensations, connection, support. The body breathes, the body rests, all on its own. Always a place to return. And you can continue to allow this goodness, this support to continue filling up into your lower back, the belly, and like the core of a redwood tree, soft. So if you notice there's rigidity here in the belly, maybe soften a little bit. And still be strong, the back, soft front. And we continue the spine, the ribs, the chest and shoulder blades. This goodness, this support to your shoulders and down the tops of your arms, hands and fingertips, palms, inside of your arms. And these arms, maybe imagining they're outstretched, connecting with everyone's. And if there's any internal storm, maybe you can just give yourself a little sway, front to back, side to side, a little rocking. Body breathes, the body rests. Rooted and connected, strong, trunk, soft in the core, not too rigid, malleable, flexible, resilient. And allowing this goodness, this support to continue filling up into your collarbone, throat, neck, and jaw. Maybe relaxing the face as you're filling up the jaw, the cheeks, the eyes, and the forehead. Just like the top of a tree, we can notice it's foggy or misty. There's thoughts. Or maybe it's clear. And we continue filling the back of the head, the ears, all the way up to the scalp. Like the top of a tree reaching for the sun. Maybe you can even let your scalp reach, elongating the spine. Noticing growth within you. As the body breathes, the body rests, all on its own. Connected, grounded, stable, and flexible. Supported by others. Strong in your own experience. Strong doesn't mean rigid. It can be swaying. It can be soft. It can be supported. And these emotions, these feelings, these longings, can be the fertilizer, the soil. It cultivates growth. So hold it gently, hold it lightly. And if you haven't already, let it go. Let go my guidance. Let go of the practice, any trying, and just rest. Rest in any goodness that is here, waiting for you. Goodness that is you. The mind wants to rest, let it rest. If it wants to wander, let it wander. If the body wants to rest, let it rest. If it wants to move, let it move. Trust your intuitive knowing of what you need right now. Maybe just taking a few moments here to send out any appreciation to folks that came to your mind tonight to support you. Just a gentle thank you. Appreciate you, your mind. Make sure you include yourself in that. Just picturing yourself right now. Or just simply saying your name. And saying thank you. Thank you for showing up tonight. I appreciate you. Keep going. Keep growing. As the body breathes, the body rests, all on its own. Thank you. Just shifting your awareness back to right here, right now. Sounds, sensations, feet, seat, breath. And just notice any shift in your experience from when you started to now. More or less of anything. Without judgment. Just noticing. Without clinging. Just appreciating. And as I ring the bell, remembering that it's not necessarily an end to anything, just an invitation to transition, an inner to outer awareness, and be gentle with it. Take your time with it. There's no rush. Just gently coming back into the room, greeting yourself with a stretch, movement, pat on the back. Give the person next to you a high five because you know they nailed it. No, they killed it. You got an empty row. Nailing it. All right, y'all. So we're going to just do a few announcements and you can hang out and connect a little bit more. And I do want to encourage you to maybe ask someone tonight if they will, if they want a meditation buddy, a supportive friend. This is maybe like pick out how many days a week you want to try to practice or meditate, and how much time. And just check in on each other, inspire each other, be inspired. Or not. You have choice. I was going to make you all do it, but I'm not going to do that. Don't do that. What, you cool? Cool. Emerson's going to lead us out.
Hello. Hello, beautiful.
Hello.
Thank you for practicing with us tonight. As always, cost for tonight's group is $10 to $20 on the sliding scale. $10 keeps the lights on. $20 helps someone who might not be as financially blessed as you enjoy our offering tonight. As always, no one's ever turned away for lack of funds. Pay what you can, when you can, if you can, and if you can't, come anyway. There's a wooden box back there for cash, as well as a QR code for Venmo and PayPal, and we also have a card reader, so there's tons of ways to pay. Thanks for coming. Next week's Affinity Circle is Affinity Group is Q Circle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Kimber, you want to do another reminder for Q Circle and then our offering?
Sure.
Yeah.
So next Wednesday, 7 to 8:30, the key circles for queer and non-binary folks, and bring yourself, friends, neighbors, family, and then on Saturday, the 21st, Joan and I will be teaching that for monsters.
Yeah.
And it's really going to be about working with the difficult inside person, sitting on our own hearts with a lot of friendliness, as well as working with difficult people outside of us.
Mm.
I work with all those monsters in a constructive way.
Yeah. Thanks, Kimber. And it's going to be a busy week for Kimber next week. She's going to be leading the Thursday night group as well. It's ski week for my kid, and I get to go on the slopes again, guys. Remember that story? Let's see how this one goes. Dad's not going. But I can take my time up there. feel in a better spot. But thank you, Kimber. And I hope to see you. Yeah, there's registration. There's a flyer with registration for our offering on, it's the 21st, right? Saturday the 21st. And again, if you sign up, then we'll send you an email with everything to bring and what to prepare for the day. And a really easy lift. It's really just for you to rest and reflect on, this inner dialogue and way we treat ourselves. And metta is the word for kind awareness, loving kindness. And we'll do some practice of meeting that tyrant with some kindness, dethrone it. And when we do that, it helps us in the world and, work with, there's a lot of tyrants, a lot of monsters. It can seem scary. And if nothing else, I think Kimber will read a little thing and Saturday about really cool writing, the monsters. Yeah. Love that. Thank you. Cool. So we'll end with a little offering of merit. Did I remember everything? My support group. Bob, thank you. Hooking up sound as always. And everybody that comes and opens up the doors. It's just such a community ran space. It's so ideal. So if you ever want to get here early on Thursdays, we're usually here about 6:30 or so late at the latest, and help set up. And tonight, if you would like to help clean up a little bit, empty the trashes and stuff, Randy helps out with that. Just ask Randy, she'll put you to work. And we'll end with a little offering of merit. In the Buddhist tradition, it's believe that we don't just practice for our own well-being, but we practice for the goodness and the well-being of all beings. So just taking a moment and bringing your awareness inward, and just a short reflection on your night tonight. Started from the thought, the remembering. It's Thursday. Should I get off the couch and go? That's when it started. Showing up and connecting, practicing, noticing any goodness that's been cultivated from your practice. And if you don't notice any, that's okay. There's enough to go around. Let that goodness sink in to the marrow of your being, of who you are. And then also let it ripple out. Let the goodness that's been cultivated here from our practice be for the benefit of all beings, especially those struggling in the hands of oppression, racism, homophobia, sexism, and those that don't know. May all beings be at ease. May all beings be at peace. May all beings know true freedom and liberation, inward and outward. Thank y'all. Yeah. May your practice ripple out from the seat to the street.